BTS have innovated a paradigm shift in mental health discourse and modality through their embodiment of big hit entertainments, music, and artists for healing, with consistent positive mental health messaging and organic modeling of mental health modalities. Originating in the personal and artistic growth journey of BTS and emerging organically from it. Recognizing the complexity of the parasocial relationships that exist between fans and celebrities, I focus on the ability of positive parasocial relationships to foster higher self confidence, a stronger perception of problem focused coping strategies, and a stronger sense of belonging, which BTS demonstrate and consequently inspire the creation of mental health projects by ARMY. Drawing from my professional, academic, and lived experience, I argue that BTS demonstrates this organic innovation not through radical departures from the norms of idle, creative, and parasocial activities, but through the subtle and uniquely personal transformations these seven men make in them, thus performing as organic, authentic, and consistent mental health advocates. Beginning with an introduction to key mental health terms and concepts, I will discuss their organic innovation from several interconnected perspectives across musical eras, the role of psychological and literary sources, and how this interpersonal and intertextual response results in their informal organic modeling and embedding of positive mental health messages and modalities while arriving at the transformation of idle activities and parasocial relationships to forms for mental health engagement and fan created mental health projects. Jungian psychology is a method to access, experience, and integrate unconscious material into awareness, searching for the meaning of behaviors, feelings, and events. Jungian therapy recognizes the potential in each individual to develop themselves fully through processes such as individuation and fits within the broader category of psychotherapy. Now, psychotherapy is a relational therapy where we learn about our mental health conditions, moods, feelings, and thoughts and behaviors, learning to respond to challenging situations with healthy coping skills. Cognitive behavioral therapy is another form of psychotherapy where we gain awareness of inaccurate negative thinking to view challenging situations more clearly and respond more effectively using tools like reframing and reappraisal, while positive psychology focuses on character strengths, optimism, life satisfaction, happiness, well being, gratitude, compassion, self compassion, self esteem, self confidence, and hope. Peer support is provided by someone with lived experience of mental health diagnosis and focuses on holistic wellness and on health and recovery rather than illness and disability, assisting people in finding their own path to recovery. Now, school trilogy Dark and Wild, well, that means that the Bulletproof Boy Scouts identify themselves as the voice for and shield to protect youth, seen in No More Dream, No, and We On, demonstrating rebellion and individuation, while Path and Tomorrow provide contrast as early explorations of anxiety, introspection, and self awareness. More importantly, they model self awareness, empathy, and compassion through emotionally intelligent and mature responses to fallout from songs like If I Ruled the World and War of Hormone, by rejecting toxic masculinity, cultural appropriation, discrimination, and misogyny, and modeling healthier alternative behaviors, key elements of peer support and cognitive behavioral therapy, beginning a pattern that grows throughout their career while strengthening parasocial relationships. Here, seeds are sown and signs of early growth are evident. This era establishes that BTS is here to serve up earnest music based on their own lives and emotions and the world they see around them. The most beautiful moment in life sees BTS's introspection on the trials of youth maturing, utilizing alter egos in the Bangtan universe. Videos for I Need You, Run, and Young Forever introduce themes and images that will become iconic in the BU: identity, friendship, and mental health, including hospitalization, suicide, self harm, trauma, and abuse. In real life, they share their growth and trials of group cohesion and moving on, while Bapse reprises their role as shield and voice, expressing generational frustration and exhaustion. Butterfly, Wayland 52, and Save Me contemplate anxiety, dependency, and loneliness, expanding psychologically safe parasocial spaces by modeling self awareness and vulnerability. Murakami's Kafka on the Shore, referenced in Butterfly, informs BTS's use of parallel stories, intertextuality, and the psychological inquiry into the nature of the world and our relationship to it, reinforcing the power and beauty of music as communicative form, the medium BTS uses to enrich their relationship with ARMY. This era expands psychological safe spaces for more complex intertextual relationships with themselves, the BU alter egos, and ARMY. Influenced by Hess's Demian, Wings begins BTS's Jungian journey. Songs from the Wings short film series build on the imagery and ideas established in the BU, now with additional dual meanings. Cinematically, each is a piece within a larger work paralleling Eric Sinclair's Jungian Psychological Evolution with their BU alter egos in tandem with the book's semi-autobiographical nature. Lyrically, they are individual explorations of the self and of psychological growth. You Never Walk Alone demonstrates transformation from exploring to modeling. Spring Day expresses the complex interplay of the stages of grief and healing. While Not Today builds on their legacy of inspiring generational peers as an anthem for peer support, suicide prevention, resilience, and recovery. This is an era of integration and transformation with maturity in processing psychological concepts and organic modeling more clearly evidenced. Love Yourself has BTS moving from self-exploration to self-love. See Fake Love, Truth Untold, and Paradise revisit themes of emotional and psychological growth. Serendipity, Singularity, and Euphoria are love songs reflecting on the nature, dynamic, and impact of loving another, culminating in the epiphany of love and acceptance of the imperfect self. We now see more explicit organic mental health modeling. Pied Piper asks Army to critically interrogate their parasocial relationship as an act of self-knowledge and self-care. Anpanman identifies compassion as a superpower, taking BTS beyond bulletproof shields to a new generation of empathetic superheroes, embracing, reframing, and positive psychology. Inspired by Dodi's autobiographical Into the Magic Shop, grounded in the healing power of meditation, connection, and compassion, BTS reinforces his message of mindfulness and the necessity of taming our inner critic while employing the language of peer support, active listening, compassion, and unconditional support for each other and for Army. I'm Fine completes a quest for healing begun with Save Me, acknowledging that we lead our own healing journey and ground our recovery in the epiphany of self-love. BTS invite us on a journey with them to love, face, and speak ourselves. Map of the Soul returns to Jungian analysis via Stein's work of the same name, continuing personal and artistic journeys of self-exploration, ongoing individuation, and healing. Exploring the psyche and persona, shadow, and ego, we see the interrogation and introspection such mapping requires to uncover, confront, and integrate the dualities that exist within us. Lyrically, as they have done in the past, they share their stories and their struggles on that journey. Black Swan revisits mourning life's transitions and the implications for identity. On builds on earlier anthemic and empowering works, viscerally standing up to life's trials, acknowledging the resilience, strength, and healing that they can provide, effectively flipping the script on No and No More Dream by reframing and doing things on their own terms. Solo songs continue to explore personal journeys, discussing fears, reframings, healing, and self-love. 0 O'Clock is an eloquent and compassionate CBT reframing tool, allowing us to reset our perspective and mindset, assuring us that hope can arrive with a new day. Microcosmos, Lights, and We Are Bulletproof, the Eternal consolidate earlier messages of self-acceptance, self-love, self-compassion, empathy, and peer support with BTS and the parasocial relationship with Army. Murray Stein's response to their work acknowledges that they have taken the message of psychological awareness and the importance of mental health to a global level. In 2020, BTS reflected our sense of loss, and they pivoted by reframing to acceptance and hope. Missing a much anticipated tour, social media platforms filled the gap, enriching parasocial dynamics as part of collective healing through connection. They celebrated the graduating class of 2020, took us into the soup, performing with and for us at Bang Bang Con and Map of the Soul 1, and managed to light it up like dynamite, bringing much needed hope and energy to an exhausted and overwhelmed world. They led by example, modeling recovery from self-doubt and frustration to self-care and creativity. BTS's body of work demonstrates psychological exploration as a foundation for mental health messaging and modeling, organically arrived at through personal growth for individual well-being, inspired by complex intertextual engagement with literary and psychological sources, which they use to tell stories of pain and healing, whether personal or via their BU alter egos. Within mental health modalities, especially psychotherapy, CBT, and peer support, we tell our stories as part of exploration and healing. BTS's act of speaking themselves is the cornerstone of their modeling and the first step to ending stigma. Here in their parasocial relationship with Army, they encourage modeling and healing and model healing for others. Telling our stories may lead to a diagnosis, or it may be part of treating one. A clinical diagnosis or its public disclosure is not the sole source of validity for personal stories. Rather, sharing stories to gain insight and growth builds empathy, compassion, and empowerment. within parasocial peer support and therapeutic clinical relationships. However, over the course of 7 years, we have heard each member speak of feelings of anxiety, depression, insecurity, and inadequacy. And the 2019 Festa Bangtang Addict video and Break the Silence docuseries and movie basically being excellent examples where they also describe reframing, recovery, peer support, and optimism. BTS shared Chimin's experience of body image issues resulting in disordered eating behaviors, while most explicit is Suga's disclosure of depression, compulsion, social phobia, and suicidality in the last. He jokes about his inability and frustration with meditation due to ADHD in the BTS World Europe video, basically a scene that resonates with my own experience. And it is this modeling and its resonance that builds positive parasocial dynamics, inspiring growth, healing, and co-creation with ARMY. We have now seen how BTS's journey and the combination of their artistry and empathy has resulted in their ability to organically embed unscripted modeling of mental health therapy tools, including peer support, CBT, positive psychology, and reframing. Naming the annual fan meeting Magic Shop, BTS creates a multi-layered modeling, adding to Doty's influence in peer support modeling with inclusion of Marino's psychodramatic magic shop therapy, where one enters into exchange processes to get needs met or to release unwanted psychological items. Performances replicate the therapeutic model in real time, with BTS and ARMY as active parasocial participants meeting each other's needs for empathy and unconditional acceptance while helping the other shed insecurity, loneliness, and self-doubt. Through branded apps, this is further developed, expanding the BU, parasocial relationships, and inviting co-creation. Weverse has seen members invite ARMY to play video games and to share support on career goals, while BTS World encourages compassion and engagement to level up. And BU Story invites ARMY to create new stories and different outcomes from the existing BU canon. Fanfic and fan-created art YouTube channels are not unique to BTS. However, what I have not encountered in other fandoms are the creation of groups, projects, or organizations related to mental health and well-being. BTS's positive parasocial dynamic with consistent mental health messaging has created dialogue within ARMY about mental health and resulted in the creation of mental health projects by and for ARMY as an extension of BTS's innovation in peer support and modality modeling. In addition to my own Bulletproof to Stigma mental health program, I found other ARMYs engaged in BTS-inspired mental health projects, from videographers in Canada to anthology compilers in Argentina. For Suicide Prevention Month, I collaborated with the American founder of K-Pop for Peace, who as a fellow mental health professional has developed the Microcosmos project as well. Together, we provided a month-long resource sharing and weekly resources platform online called the Bangtang Strong Project, and offered mental health tools and resources framed through BTS creative content, creating engagement with therapeutic tools through fandom and shared spaces ARMY. BTS's personal engagement with psychological sources and organic mental health modeling and messaging has extended their peer support from a constellation of 7 to a galaxy of millions, crossing language and culture barriers, inspiring fan-created mental health content, a unique innovation in mental health, discourse, and co-creation. And like other ARMYs, I look forward to the new album with BTS leading the creative process, giving us hope for what the future might be.